Okay, picture this. It's a beautiful weekend. Your first market in a while. The weather, perfect. Not cold, not hot. You carried all your boxes from the car, never broke a sweat. It's a perfect day. You have enough cash, you have enough stock. This is your first market in a while. You even priced everything. Everything's going along great. Customers are coming by, you're making sales left and right. It's a beautiful morning. But then it happens. Someone comes by your booth. They spot something on your table and they say, "Oh, I love this. How much does it cost?" And you say, "It's $25, but there's a tag if you want to double check just in case." 25? Huh. Let me just run back and double check that other booth over there because I saw one just like this. Just like this? And there is something I forgot to mention. There's another crochet booth just down the lane from you, and it happened. A customer spotted you have the same inventory. Now, you go take a walk
Just to go see real quick.
and you see, oh my gosh, so much cute stuff. This is great work. But then you start counting. Yeah, I have leggy frogs. Oh, those octos kind of are similar to mine. Oh, I did bring a lot of loaf cats today too. And then you notice more and more and more. And then you're suddenly standing there like,
wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
trying to calculate how much of your inventory is overlapping.
You're an imposter!
Still alive, but I'm barely breathing. This happened to me exactly one time before I learned my lesson. While I would bring my own personal bestsellers back time and time again, which everyone should be doing, I never had more than one viral pattern on my table at a time. Because honestly, there's nothing worse at a market than going head to head with another crocheter over price alone. And I think that there is more than enough space for all of us to coexist together. But what I don't want is to be sitting there and deciding on the spot whether or not I want to raise or lower my prices based off of who's around me. I would rather take some unique projects that maybe I'm not the only one in the world to ever have crocheted, but it'll be less likely for me to have some of these more unique pieces on my table and have to go up against someone who happened to make the exact same pattern as me. So today I'm going to take you through a few free patterns that you may not have come across yet that are free, cute. Some of them are low-sew. Some of them take a little bit more time, but they are adorable. And it's always good to have a few key pieces to show off. And some of these are brand new, so they're unlikely to be on anyone else's table. So when I apply for market and I start planning out my stock, I like to think of my market prepping in a pyramid. So my pyramid has 4 tiers to it. That bottom layer is going to have my most inventory in it. And by most, I mean most of multiples. And the pieces at the very tippy top of my pyramid are going to be one of one. So the things that I'm going to have, 6, 8, 10 of are going to be this base of the pyramid. And for those items, I like to make sure that they're all in the $5 to $8 range. So that's where I'm going to start us off in this video today. So this is from my YouTube channel and you can find the tutorial. I will link it below. He is a 30-minute project. He's 100% no-sew and he's pretty adorable. This one right here I made in a weight 5 chenille. I did use a 5mm hook and I did yarn under, yarn over. So he is a little bit smaller than he probably would be if you did a yarn over, or if you sized up to a weight 6 yarn. I still think he's pretty cute. I actually really enjoy this size because he fits perfectly in my palm and I think that is super cute. I like to use a little chalkboard sign on my table and I'll usually write on it Pocket Pals and I'll put $5, and so at any point I can change anything into being a Pocket Pal. And usually for me, if it fits in your hand and is you could squish this in a pocket, I'll put it down as a Pocket Pal. Now this one I will say could go $8 to $10 honestly, but depending on the market I'm doing, the region, the time of day, the time of year, the vibe of the crowd that I'm getting, I'll drop these down to $5. I don't mind, but that's just me personally me. Another item for this base tier is going to be these little itty bitty teeny tiny bunnies. And they are just so cute. These are also no-sew. They have the cutest little tail. I did an embroidery face. Doing embroidery is going to add time onto your projects, so I do it anyways. But if you're really trying to save time, then I recommend just straight black safety eyes, because those are going to be your best compromise for time and money. So if you want to do a more detailed project, but you kind of want to even out the price point, plain black safety eyes is a really good way to go. because embroidery does take a little bit. Now these are very simple embroidery eyes. They did not take me very long, but it does take a little bit more time. And then the little tail. I do love these. Now these are, I would say 15 to 20 minutes, and that's only because I'm a super slow crocheter. Now, if you are faster than me, and especially if you got an assembly line going, you get quicker the more you make the same pattern, because your brain starts to remember, you know, okay, next I got a color change. Next, I gotta join in the round. Like, you start picking up on the things that you're doing and your brain starts anticipating it, which makes you faster. But these are super cute. This one right here is a chunkier weight 4 yarn. This is just Chenille by Premier Yarns. I love this yarn. I used a 4mm hook with it. And this is how itty bitty it came out. So obviously if you use a thicker yarn with a bigger hook, it's gonna come out bigger. But this would definitely be a pocket pal for me, a $5 item. Or if I wanted to charge a little bit more for it, I would just turn it into a keychain. But again, that would be a little bit more time because I do like to add beads and stuff to my keychains. But keychains do well for me at every market, so I do like to have quite a bit of them. This one is Burnout Baby Velvet with a 3.5mm hook, and he's so cute. So these are both weight 4 yarns, but you can see there is a difference in size based off of fiber and thickness. So this one's velvet, and that one is chenille. All right, next one. This is a pattern from my Instagram. It's this a little itty bitty teeny tiny pig. He is 100% no-sew. He is so easy to make, and he's super cute. He's pretty fast. I would probably say this is a 30-minute project. The only thing, everything is done in the round except the little ears. You do add them on afterwards, but they are super easy and simple to use. You embroider the nose on, which I did it just in the same exact yarn this time, but I will say it would probably look better if you did a different tone. So if you have any yarn scraps that are like a little darker or a little lighter, that would be cuter. And so this one is also a weight 5 yarn with a 5mm hook, yarn under, yarn over technique. And so it's a little bit smaller. This would be a pocket pal for me. This would definitely be a $5 item because I think once I get an assembly line going, I can get these closer to 20 minutes. And I'm okay with that. But yes, a thicker yarn, bigger hook, he would be bigger for you. The next tier up is like, we're getting into like $10 to $15 items for me. And for those, I still try to do multiples, but I'm limiting them to like 4, 6, like smaller quantities. Whereas in like these items, you know, I'd be willing to go up to 10 to 12 of something that I know is going to sell a ton of, or that I can do like variations of. I was on the tester team for this one, and when I saw it come up, I was super excited. I am an RN, so this mini stethoscope was right up my alley, and I was so happy to see it. She published it to her page in time for Mother's Day. I mean, I'm sorry, in time for Nurses Week, also Mother's Day, but you know what I mean. It's super adorable and I like it. I did it in a weight 2 yarn, so this is actually way smaller than most people's size. If you did a weight 6, it would be way bigger than this, and if you did a weight 4, it would be quite a bit bigger too. This is a very, very teeny tiny chenille with a 2mm hook, but I wanted to make it a keychain, so I haven't added the keychain yet because I haven't decided on what beads I want to use, but I think this would make a fantastic keychain. I think even if you did a weight 4 cotton yarn, that this would still be kind of a cute bag charm. I think this is a fantastic item to add to markets because it's just one of those things where you open yourself up to buyers from all facets of like medical professions, like doctors, nurses, MAs, nursing assistants, RTs. There's just so many people that use a stethoscope in their daily lives and in their careers that would see this and be like, oh, that's so cool. Picture this. You have your table, you have all your cute plushies laid out, and then you have a little sign that says, you know, any plushie can become a doctor or nurse for $10. And they're like, what do you mean? And you're like, you just whip out one of these. And you're like, choose your stethoscope, and you can have like 4 or 5 pre-made stethoscopes in cute colors, and then they can choose the color they want. And then all of a sudden, you're Build-A-Bear. And then you're not selling just a plushie, you're selling an experience. And this little deck I do think is adorable. He is a little bit of a longer make, probably 45-ish minutes. You might be able to get him down to 30 minutes if you are much faster than me. I will say that when I was making him, I was using this, this is Mainstays, and it's just not as soft and it's not as easy to work with, so it does slow me down, but He is super adorable. He is a low sew pattern. The only thing you're sewing on really is the beak. I just love how different this is from like every other duck pattern out there. Like his hands, like he just looks so startled. He is a little sitter, so you like put him down, he just sits there. He's so chunky. My vision for the next market I do is to have like 3 of these sitting next to each other with like different facial expressions. So I'm thinking this one, which looks startled to me, and then I want an angry one, and then I want like a super happy one with like little blushing cheeks, and I think that'll look super cute. I think for me this would probably be a $15 item. Depending on the market, I might be willing to go down to $12, but it's probably a $15 item. So bumping up one tier, I'm moving into like my $20, $25 range. I have this little sea turtle. Now I did do this in a weight for yarn with a 3.5mm hook. So this is a lot smaller than it would be if you did it in a Bernat blanket or even a jumbo yarn. I think if you had this on your table, because it's such a specialty piece and a show piece, I think if you did this in a jumbo yarn, that this would just be something that gravitates and pulls people to your table to come look at this. So it's a little ice cream turtle. The shell itself, if you look, has this like super cute, beautiful border because it's a scoop of ice cream. And then you have the whipped cream on top with the little cherry. I used a buccal yarn for my whipped cream, so it already had the sprinkles built in. But you can obviously go ahead and add sprinkles on after the fact. But I just think it's so beautiful. I also love the technique that the designer used on the front feet. It is a very unusual stitch pattern, but it created this cool like waffle texture, which I love. So this one is quite a bit more work. It's going to be like a 1 hour, 1.5 hour project, but I do think it's super cute and it's not difficult to do. Like nothing a part of this is difficult. It's just a little bit of pieces and then you do have to sew it together. Next up, I have another YouTube tutorial for you. This one is from my page. This is my Lottie Love cake, and I love a cake for a table because no matter what the season is, there's always a birthday, there's always an anniversary, like there's always people that are going to be having special events that they're celebrating, and I think cakes are really cute to have on your table for that. Now this one is a weight 2. It's an itty bitty mini, but it gets quite big if you use a weight 6 yarn. In the tutorial, I'm actually working with weight 6 yarn so you can see how big it gets. This was my Valentine's Day pattern, but anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, I think she's beautiful. This one is a much bigger time commitment. She is still going to be in that mid-range, but I would say like definitely on the higher end, like pushing it. I'm going to leave you with my Ben the Silly Bear. He is this cute little jester bear that I made up. You can find him free on my Instagram page. He has the cutest little ears and he's adorable. He does in the pattern have a hat and like a tail. I don't know why this one doesn't have a tail. I just noticed it right now. But he's adorable. He is kind of like a jester, clownish vibe. He has like those flare pants on and I just think he's darling. This one is going to be on that higher end of that upper tier. The ear and the muzzles are the only thing you really have to sew on, but he is still gonna be like a larger project. This is a weight 4 velvet yarn that I used. I would say this one is definitely a 2.5 hour project, but he is super adorable, and if you did him up in a bigger yarn, of course he would be larger and the life of the party. Editing Buddy here. So I was working on the video and then I realized I really didn't put any patterns in the tippy top of the pyramid, and that was on purpose because I think that those, like that spot, should be reserved for the patterns and the projects that really inspire you and you let your creativity run wild. So these are going to be your most expensive projects. For me, it would be like $40 and above, so anything above that $40 mark. But for other people, you know, that might be a little bit of a higher bump just depending on where you're at. But for me, those are going to be the projects where I am just so inspired and I can't stop myself from making them, but there probably isn't going to be another one. Like for my markets, I take my Mew a lot to show him off, but he is so expensive. I don't expect him to sell and I don't really want him to sell, but I do like to show him off. So I am not against or above taking a piece to a market with the explicit goal of just showing him off and showing people what my skills truly can achieve. All right, guys, and that's all I have for you today. What do you think? Are you going to be trying any of these patterns out for your next market? I think there's like a good mishmash of patterns here that you can be filling up any gaps that you have in your inventory. Like I said, I'm not against making viral patterns. Sometimes people come to your table specifically looking for a viral pattern that they've seen on the internet, and that's a great thing. I'm just here to advocate for you to switch it up every now and again to keep your customers guessing, especially if you're going to the same markets over and over and over again, because then you're going to be seeing your same customers every few weeks or every month, and you want to have something new to show them. Plus, it's good to switch it up every now and then to flex your creativity and show off your skills. All right, guys, I hope you saw something that made you smile today. I'll see you again next time. My name's Betty, and this is Happy Little Loop Crochet. Bye!